guys, welcome to episode 2 of Disposition Choices. We're here with the modern mortician, Melissa, down in Texas, and I'm up here in Michigan. We are going to talk today about the burial pods. So I was telling Melissa, I don't know why all of a sudden this will generate back into like Facebook streams and people talking about it again. I don't know quite what sparks it, but all of a sudden recently again, 20 of my Facebook friends are like posting the articles about burial pods and I want one of these. Can I get one of these? Tell me what you know about burial pods, Melissa.
I know that they are a concept design from a company out of Sweden. And I don't know who their marketer is, but I want to be their friend because they're doing something right if this thing keeps popping up and we're all getting tagged in it again and again and again.
Yes.
So what I know about it, if you want to know what we're talking about, they look like eggs, not this thing, but they look like eggs with the person in the fetal position in it with the tree sticking out of the top. And I want you to ask yourself, either as a consumer or a professional deathbed person, how are you going to lube grandma up and shove her into this egg? Like, really? Like, no, I pass. No, thank you. And then secondly, loading it into the back of a truck and driving to the cemetery with the tree flapping in the wind. And everybody's like, oh, there goes Miss So-and-so to the cemetery. I don't know how I feel about that. And that's why, it's probably been a concept this whole time and hasn't actually come to fruition. Do you agree?
Yeah. So what I had read was this couple, or these two individuals, I don't know if they're a couple, I'd have to read again, but so they created, is it Capsula Mundi or is the name of this thing? And back in like 2003, they won this competition where you presented like business model ideas and theirs was like the winner, or they got some notoriety for this business model. So this has been around for 17, 18 years now. That has been like on, in the back burner. It does come in a cremation little version, which I'm sure is being used because we do have the bio urns and things like that where you bury the cremated remains and a tree can sprout out. I know that looking into this, that was the two big things as funeral directors was, okay, you have this big pod and yes, it opens from the side. So you have this thing laying down, but we've got rigor mortis. So we've got a body that is going to be in who knows what position, but we have to take that body and stuff them into a small enough positioning to fit them in this pod. So we almost have to let them decompose for 48, 36 hours to get really loosey-goosey to be able to maybe bend them into the right position to get them in the pod. Not even talking about, arthritis, that we can't bend certain arms or legs, or people who are too large for the pod, because it's not like it's going to fit a 300-pound individual into it, it looks like. So that right off the bat, it's like, oh, the funeral directors are going to be like, not it, not me today, trying to get this person in and getting the cover on. And then, like you said, transporting to the cemetery or to the area that they're buried. And my concern, all I'm picturing, because you can kind of see through the pot a little bit, it looks like from, the pictures, is that grandma's face is like smashed up against the side of it, like pressed. And that's all you're seeing at the cemetery is like grandma smashed up. That's all I picture. I think it's a great concept, like you said, but from everything I've read, because of how a body breaks down and the nutrients that the body gives off and how human body actually can kill surroundings if there's not a proper balance, that those have to be buried in very mature tree growth. So they can't be buried with saplings. They have to be buried in an area with large established trees, because then the tree is not going to be affected when the body's breaking down, which is why you often have forests that are natural burial grounds and such. So that's what I had read. But that nitrogen in our bodies really goes ballistic when it comes to trees and everything, I guess. So that's why it's not a great, put a little sapling under grandma in the pod down below and then everything's great. It doesn't work that way.
No, I've seen that in action too with natural burial. We
Yeah.
like to recommend to families, after you do the burial, you can put a few little ground level plants there, that the root systems aren't going to get down there. But trees and bushes and things like that, anything within a certain foot radius of the burial ends up dying. And I've literally seen this happen at the natural burial park. You go and a tree that you planted maybe 6 months ago, and then you put a person down there and the tree's suddenly dead. It's like, it's just not going to work. And I mean, it's questionable with the cremated remains too, how that actually works, but we'll get into that with our cremation discussion.
Yeah, because the jig was up on that for a while, and then they started coming out with new products. But yeah, so burial pods, everyone, this is a concept, not something that's happening. You can buy, there is a price tag on them. If you go to like the websites and you look, $465 for a pod.
For the cremation one?
I think it was for the big one. I would have to look again. I wrote down 465 when I was looking and reading, but look again. But I don't know. I can't imagine the box set things coming to the funeral home in, and how I can't. So
like
real pod guys.
Kinder eggs.
Crack. And there's, oh God. Yeah. So you can't go just ordering this up and bringing it over to your local funeral home right now, if ever, because it's been around. If it's been around since 2003 at this point, probably is not in use for some serious reasons. So thanks, guys. Join us on our next one. Post questions below about the burial pods, and we'll see you on our next video. Bye.
Bye.